Now, it may look like one of these is putting in work and the other is simply exploring their passion and having fun. But it actually could be both. And in this case, when we talk about the creative arts and how passion can actually generate income and be formalized, well, we're going to explore that on today's episode. So is it more than just a passion and a hassle, or is it something formal that creatives, such as these individuals, actually generate real income from? What are the barriers? What are the hurdles? What does the system even look like? And what are the securities as well as challenges that artists face when they are making their passion come into income? Well, I sit down with two of them, Stephanie Dale, as well as the talented Mumba Yachi, to find out what it means to have your passion and your art also be your income. We'll get to chatting in our studio during today's podcast. Let's get to it. Okay, so if we start this podcast by having me whistle a tune, in fact, especially you, if you're going to whistle something, who do I write out the invoice to? When does creativity become formally a paycheck?
Yeah, when I whistle something, I mean,
Are you going to charge us?
yeah, it's music.
If I ask you...
If I can whistle in a musical way,
Yeah.
then that becomes music.
Then that becomes music.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Then I charge for that.
Then you charge for that.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm told my voice is my art as well. So
Yes.
I might send you guys the
You should.
invoice.
You absolutely should.
Yeah, but then you might throw it right back at me because it's my privilege to have you two on today's episode. So
Thank you.
I'm not trying to give you guys any thoughts, okay? Don't have the bills flying at me. But but on a serious note, I mean, creativity at some point has to start paying for itself.
Yeah, sure.
So you two know the story. You live the story. You create the story and you live off the story. So when it comes to the creative process and passions, a lot of it is seen and treated like a hustle. And I use this word not as an insult, not as a negative or pejorative thing, but it's a hustle because hustle tends to be a bit more informal, right? When we talk about the billing, when we talk about the infrastructure around it, the ecosystem around it, why is art still at this phase when clearly this is $1 billion industry, the world over, Zambia included? What are we facing? I mean, how would you describe the current situation? Even you, Steph, as a filmmaker, what is the current situation when it comes to getting your passion to be your income?
I think the first thing that I would speak to is perception. Okay, so I think you've been you've nailed it on the head in pointing out the word hustle, because we attribute hustle to informality.
Right.
So there's the perception that creativity is to be enjoyed, which is true. Creativity is something to be done on the side. Creativity is something that doesn't necessarily need to be nurtured. It's inherent. You come up with creativity. But we're learning as time goes on that that's not the case, and that can be converted. And if we change the perception of what people think about the informality of creativity to understand that this thing can actually generate an income for you, we're moving in the right direction. But until we get there, and this starts from home, because I think all of us can attest to the fact that at some point when you expressed that you wanted to take up the profession in creativity or something in culture or in the arts, you were told, do this and that first.
Yeah.
Do medicine first,
Yeah.
do accounting first,
Right.
Then you can do that after you've given me the degree. But we've come into a space now where that perception needs to change even in our homes, where we begin to understand that creativity and anything that is around that is a gift, but it's a gift that can be nurtured, cultivated, and developed into something that can generate an income for you.
Yeah.
So I would say perception would be the first place that we need to have our minds changed.
Yeah, I mean, very big part. I mean, from that departure point, a lot of things can manifest. Where did you meet your departure point where you were saying, this is me having fun, this is me expressing myself, to saying that this is now a full-time thing? I am Mumba Yachi, I'm a brand, there's a price to this. Tell us about that transition.
Thank you very much for having me. What I can say about that is that from my own experience in this industry, I've learned that an artist really need a team. An artist need a team whereby who have people who are more also inclined in the business side of it, who are not looking at you as an artist. They are looking at you as a product that they can lay out there, they can put out there for market consumption.
Right.
So I feel so, but because an artist himself has been an artist, if you are just an artist as yourself, you will want to share it even for free. You'll want to share it because an artist want to reach a very wider audience. They want to share their art with everybody. So art for itself is priceless. Doesn't have a price.
Right.
You can't tag a price on art. It's so, it's priceless.
Yeah.
So, but you as an artist, you just need people around you who are there to ensure that you make money out of your art. But I'm so sure that ask every artist out there.
Yeah.
They will want to share their art.
For free.
They will want to
So
share
at what
it.
point did you realize like I need a team? Like I can't just be giving this up for free. I need that same formality that you've described.
It's about survival. That spirit of survival when it comes, where it is in all of us, whereby you say, okay, I will talk about myself, is that my parents are still entrepreneurs. So even for me, making music, it was also that thing in me to be an entrepreneur, but I was not aware that I was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
But for me, I just knew that I'm going to live out of music. I'm going to survive out of music.
Yeah.
So that idea of trying to put a price to the art is because I want to survive out of this.
Yeah.
I want to live out of this. So now I start to put things in place to see how I can survive. It's not just passion.
Yeah.
It is also life. It is also a business. So now I need, I started now to research. I started now to find out from business people to direct me in the right way so that I can also make money out of it. But let's not forget, art itself is priceless.
It's priceless. And you see, that's a very interesting statement. But don't you feel that's the excuse a lot of people use to not formalize it? Because they say, well, it's priceless. You can put any price to it. There's no standard. There's no tier. How do we pay for this? So we'll pay you when we want, how much we feel it's worth. And sometimes what they feel it's worth is not even the cost of production. Okay? So how do we factor in all those things? Yes, it's priceless. And yes, it's us putting something that is almost spiritual, very intangible in most cases, right? But how do we now get to a stage where we cannot put a price to it? So you're not doing this at a loss. You are making a living. What are some of the things you think we can put in place as artists, first of all, before we get to what the other parts of the ecosystem can do? Steph, what do you think?
I think very importantly, an artist must put the value on themselves first. Okay? I can understand and I appreciate Mumba, the statement that he's made, because it's true. An artist and anyone that creates wants people to experience what they've done and they want people to enjoy what they've done.
Yeah.
He pointed out something also very important about survival. So if you're going to be an artist that paints the picture that you're going to do these things for free and you're still surviving, well, good luck to you. And we hope that your life works out well. But there needs to be an understanding that you place value on what you do. So I agree with Mumba very, very, very much in him saying that you need to have a team. Because I would encourage an artist to step away from the monetary conversation, do you, and get someone to do the business for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can understand that there's a little bit of reservation with that and people have their concerns with that. But let the creative create and let the business aspect be the business aspect. It doesn't need to be separate because you're still involved in it, but you get to be creative and you get to run your business. But value what it is that you do. So if you're going to be accepting gigs and going places and doing things for free, and at the end of the day, you're throwing your hands up in the air talking about, I can't survive and I can't feed my family, who's to blame for that?
Right.
I will pay you if you allow me to pay you the value of what I feel, that is what I'll give you. So if you set the price of what it is that you're willing to put on your art or on your product, then you are training people in the way that they're going to handle you. That said, I think there is an extreme that people go to as well,
Okay.
where there is the conversation about people becoming you can't afford them because
Okay.
people are totally pricing themselves outside of what is market value. We get that. But there is the element of a business sit down to understand, what are my production costs? What is the cost of me putting this song together?
Yep.
What's gone into it? Who have I paid? What are the elements that have come into
Right.
it? If we take film, for example, I think that's one of the conversations that's being had right now.
Okay.
And the different elements that make up a film
Yes.
and the stuff that goes into a film
Yes.
is a lot. You've got elements of set design, which requires material, it requires expertise, it requires construction. You've got fashion in there, it requires clothing, it requires design. You've got makeup and art. There's all these different elements. I mean, when you go into the practicality of filming a film, you've got your production expenses, you've got your logistics,
Yeah.
you've got food, you've got travel, you've got fuel, you've got technology, you have to pay for the internet.
Right.
How do I then sit back, make a film, and then have people not pay for it?
Right.
Somehow I have to recoup on what I've spent out, right? So there is the element of counting the cost. Sit back, think about what you've done for this particular thing this particular piece of art that you're coming up with. What did it take me to get here? And charge people that amount.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, who's going to keep on coming out of pocket
Right.
just to be able to have people smile?
Very true.
And you're going home to hungry kids and a hungry family.
Yeah. Very true.
Exactly. That's the point that's where now they're putting a price to it, that's where it is coming from.
Yeah.
The things she has just mentioned. Because you want me to come and perform at your event, I need to use fuel to come there. That's one. And then two, I need to come with my team. That team, we have rehearsals that we do.
Yes.
Those rehearsals, we pay for the rehearsal space.
Yes.
And then for us to come there, we need to put on some uniforms.
Yeah.
All those, So, and then it is also time. So that's why we are putting now a price to that. That's because how are we going to do it again for you if you want us again?
Yeah.
We need to rehearse. We need to make sure that we prepare some beautiful shows for you. So if you want us again, you need to pay so that we continue creating.
Yes. Yes.
So that's why the price, for me, that's where the price issue comes from, is for the arts to continue.
Yeah. So it's not just a figure you pull out of the sky. You factor in all those things.
Not at all. I think in the business realm, they call it cost of sales, right?
Yeah.
We can call it, well, I mean, not to say we're not a business, but we can call it cost of production.
Cost of production, yeah.
Because even for example, even a quotation, a quotation has those details. To say,
you itemize.
Yes, this and this and this.
Yeah,
I'm charging this amount for this and this and that. Even people can read, your clients can read and say, okay, we understand why he's charging this.
Yeah. Now that's you having your house in order. Okay. That's you figuring it out. That's you having those conversations with yourself, your team, and making those decisions and those processes happen. But what are we receiving on the ground when we do present our side of the story? Okay. As methodical as it may be, as justified as it may be, as creatives now to say, this is the value. And how is it being met? And what are the systems, if any, that are in place to protect that? Because are we looking at a situation where we are unified as artists or under somebody or a regulating authority has our backs to say, you need to make sure that Mumba and Stephanie are paid on time so that they can continue doing what they need to do? Because every other industry, you cannot have an invoice go that long unpaid. Or you cannot have the grounds of negotiation be that extreme. So what are we experiencing? Once we got all that together and we hit the ground, what are you guys experiencing?
And I think just to add on to what you said, one of the challenges as well is, like, especially in the music, in the music space, is these guys will get up on stage, perform, do the whole performance, and not have been paid. By the end of it.
Yeah.
I would speak to on the ground. They're varying. I think there is an appreciation because of the fact that there is enough conversation happening around this. The business element of the creative space, arts and culture. There is a conversation happening. So I think people are warming to the fact that there is more to this presentation than just what we receive, right? That has a cost implication.
Yes.
So there's that element of people that understand. On the other end, unfortunately, there's still those that believe that anything I give you is what you should take for it. I mean, it's art at the end of the day.
Mm.
We do have bodies that cover us,
Mm.
film,
Yeah, music.
music.
Yeah.
They're getting there. The processes are getting there to assist us define
Yes.
what the parameters of our operation are.
Okay.
Yes.
They are helping us structure
Mm-hmm.
how we approach this thing and how we approach the business part of it,
Mm-hmm.
not directly, but by again the conversations and the different interactions that we're seeing, and especially some of the examples that are emerging of people that are doing well in this space business wise, right?
Yeah.
They are the bodies. However, I still feel that there's a little bit of work, quite a bit of work that needs to go back into making sure that regulation is handled,
Okay.
standardization is handled.
Yes.
How much do you charge for a 45-minute
Yes.
production?
Yes.
How much do you charge for a 30-second
Yeah.
production? We don't have that at the moment. So my costs, Mumba's costs, are what we experience.
Yeah.
And in that vein, we set up the costs.
Yeah.
But I say this to say that there needs to be a regulation. We're not there yet.
Okay.
We don't have that yet. We don't have, our bodies, unfortunately, are not enforcing enough the necessity for the obligation of people to pay for the services
Sure thing.
as quickly as they should.
Yeah.
So the conversation has started. We are not in the dark and without hope.
Okay.
There is a very bright light.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're definitely getting there, but we're not there yet. And unfortunately, life carries on. So we're still functioning in those arenas,
Yeah.
doing the best that we can, waiting for that beautiful day
Yes.
beyond yonder,
Yes.
when this thing is going to come to
Cool.
to place. But to say that it's in operation right now, I don't think that I would confidently say that
Okay.
it's there and being enforced and
Yeah.
regulated. No, not
How, mu-
really.
how much has technology helped this push as well? Because with your products being out in the digital space and a lot of even our local audience consuming them through these digital platforms, has that helped? Because a lot of those digital platforms are coming from societies or industries that have gotten it figured out for the most part. You know, we're getting apps from Western countries or countries with more developed industries compared to where our industries are, particularly in the arts. So has that helped that you are able to maybe monetize or use those as an example or a stepping stone to now have something become more formal as we try to get our house in order in Zambia?
Yeah, talking about that, it is always something that has always been in my mind, whereby maybe it's up to me to do it, whereby we need to have our own music distribution platforms.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if we can have our own music distribution here, whereby somebody can stream a song or can download a song 1 kwacha,
Yes.
just 1 kwacha.
Yes.
You know, musicians can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we have allowed it to go to these, we call them international
Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah.
You are proud because your music is on whatever, Spotify, whatever. Sorry for mentioning. Maybe they will edit it. But I mean, where they are giving you 0 point something,
percent.
it's not making any sense. But we are able to make our own Zambian platform right here,
Right.
and people are there to support that music, and we can make a lot of money, and we will pay taxes, and then a lot of money will be in our country.
Right.
That's one thing. Another thing is the way the music is going, as Stephanie has just pointed, is that this generation, we are just coming out of that cave where people used to take musicians or entertainers just like entertainers. You know, we are coming out slowly out of that space. We can just hear what just happened in the parliament, where they didn't want to fund the arts. They didn't want to fund. We could see it from the people's comment.
Yeah.
People's comment can show you that there's a tension here.
Yeah.
You know, that's something beautiful. You know, that is something beautiful. Even if the result was negative, but from people's comment, you can see that a lot
This
of
needs to be
people
addressed.
have understood this thing. So we are just coming out of that space where people used to take art just like for entertainment, like they are doing you a favor, like, you know, like you are just coming there to drink beer and then go home.
Right.
You know, we are coming out of that space slowly.
Yeah. What's the best investment you've ever made into what we're discussing? Your personal best investment where you have reached the tipping point or a turning point, that aha moment to say, wow, I'm actually investing in this thing?
I think it's when I started asking questions.
Okay.
When I started asking questions, and monetize is a hot topic right now, I think, because it's necessary. We have a good product. We have something to offer. We're not making the money from it the way that we should. So Mumba's right. We need our platforms.
Yeah.
We need to have more opportunities for broadcast. Those things need to be improved. So we really need to monetize. That's and I hope when they watch this podcast,
Yeah.
the powers that be will do what they need to do.
Yeah.
But we really need to monetize. That's important.
Yeah.
But I think for me, my aha moment came when I started asking the questions about, this is not working. This is not sustainable.
Okay.
How long are we going to do this? I give you an example of the film production. The landscape that we have right now, film production, is largely based on an international investment of productions that are commissioned by an international company.
Okay.
Who own the rights.
Yeah.
Who fund these projects on a one-off basis. So there's no royalties. There's nothing else that comes outside of that. It's a one-off. Our national library in film is growing.
Okay. Yeah.
But some of our best productions, we don't own them.
Wow.
I have a problem with that. Not a problem with anybody, but a problem with that system. Because when are we going to get to a stage now when we have our library? And when are we going to get to a stage where people are in an employment longer than a 3-month project in a year?
Yeah.
So for me, that was when I felt like my investment into this whole thing came in when I started getting opportunities to sit on the working group of Connect for Culture and have input from a film perspective into what the landscape is like and what we need to do to make these changes, to be able to come up and quantify how we are an industry that can feed into the national economy, that can feed into the GDP.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that I have anything tangible to say that I've produced a film and this has gone global yet. We're still hopeful. We have a lot more years ahead of us. I think we can do these things.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it's when I started to ask the questions, I started to try and find answers and get involved and find myself in spaces where I can have these conversations.
Yeah.
One like this as well, where we can discuss things and say, how can we make this landscape better? How can we make this landscape more lucrative for the people that are operating in it so that our lives can change? Because there's a lot of families represented in the arts and culture that are struggling because either your work is seasonal or either your work is not remunerated the way that you deserve, undervalued. So being a part of this topics like this, I think for me is how I feel like I've sort of made a contribution in some way.
Yeah.
I give you my little 2 cents here and
Yeah. Hey, that 2 cents, it's an investment. Go to $2 just now. Mumba?
Yeah, sure.
Your own journey. What investments have you made in order to bring what we're talking about to a reality for yourself or maybe even the industry at large?
It's about for me, I just spent a lot of time studying the industry, studying how brands have have attained a certain position. So for me, it has been a journey whereby you just feel like, okay, I need to stop this old habit. I need to embrace this new habit. And, for you to become a brand, for you to be a brand, you need to do this, you need to learn that. So I really love my life and career is because it is a career of a lot of mistakes and a lot of lessons. That's how I can say. Yeah, I've learned a lot. So I feel like all those mistakes, all those lessons have made me able to advise an upcoming artist and say, don't do this because I did that.
Yeah.
It didn't go well. So you don't do this, do that. So I think I've invested a lot in knowledge. That's what I can say.
Good.
The struggle is very beautiful to be in Zambia. Very beautiful to be Zambian, very beautiful to be around because we have got the struggles that we go through. They make us very rich in a sense that we are able to say things, we are able to explain. I've got friends from, let's say from Denmark. He's an artist.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have any struggle. So his story becomes poor. You know,
There's no texture to
there's
it.
no texture to it. Soft life.
Yeah, soft life. Soft life hits.
The story becomes poor. So, but for us,
Yeah.
we have got stories to tell.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so I think every artist out there needs to learn, needs to go through themselves and see all the struggles they have been going through. That is an investment that we
Yeah,
have
okay,
for the future generation.
Okay.
You know, for the future generation, we will have things to tell our children.
Yeah.
And right now, we are fighting for our children to
Yeah.
have a better infrastructure than what our children want to be talking about this.
Yeah,
We want
yeah.
them to talk about something else. We want them to talk about, oh no, that 1 billion is small. You know.
Yeah.
Give us 90%.
Yes.
Forget the 1%.
Exactly. And speaking of percentages, as we know, PAGS is one of the many voices advocating for the fact that even 1% by the year 2030 to be allocated, to be
Wait,
dedicated
my
to
daughter will
the
be
arts.
what?
Old enough to vote, okay? So she better know that we did the right thing right now.
Yeah,
okay?
sure.
Yeah, I mean it is definitely a journey that has started. I'm glad that we've set the targets. I know you guys are stakeholders and comrades in this push to making sure that just 1%.
It is very true.
1%
It's very true. I'm not
pumped
cutting
back.
you short. I've just remembered I had a certain contract somewhere, and then I had to ask, established musicians to help me see how I can charge for that contract.
Yes.
And then I asked Peterson. I called Peterson. I said, "How can you advise me over this and this?" And then he said, "You can charge them this much."
Yeah.
This, and then you know what? This is what he said. You know what? You guys, you are better than us, our generation.
Okay.
You know, your generation, you are charging actually a lot of money than us. We are envying you. We like you. Well, we like everything that we did, the effort that we made. We are happy for you.
Yeah.
So charge them this much, they will pay you.
Oh, great.
So it was something also that I learned from him, the way he came out, to tell me how they survive their time and how we are surviving our time. And then it is inspiring me a lot also to say, even our time also, we need to do something for the next generation.
That's great. And that's encouraging. I think to anybody who's in the trenches, to just say you guys we've covered quite a bit of ground. It helps to look back and, gauge where you are. Still a long road ahead.
Yes. But the conversation has started.
Yeah.
And I think it's the momentum is there. And I think, like Mumba said, to be in Zambia at this time in the arts and cultural space is exciting.
Nice.
Because we're hopeful.
Yeah.
Like even he rightly gave example of the submission that was made into Parliament for the film fund. Shut down. That's okay. For a lot of people, we were like, great. We've never had this conversation in Parliament before.
That's a step.
And we could do better.
Yes.
Maybe our next presentation of that lobbying would be more informed.
Yeah.
It'll be more comprehensive. It'll be more engaging.
Yeah.
It'll have a whole lot more impact. But the conversation happened.
Yeah.
And it's never happened before. So I think in that sense, we're very hopeful of what's going on.
Right.
2030 is not too far away.
There you
I
go.
mean, not long ago, we were in 2021 talking about 2026,
Yes,
and here we
yes,
are,
yes,
right?
yes.
So it goes by very quickly. So you're not looking at the expanse of time, but I think a lot can be done in that process. And because the wheel is moving, work is happening, livelihoods are being made, structures are being put in place, associations are getting themselves together.
Yeah.
Because I think none of them want to be found wanting. That when this thing finally breaks, they're not, or when we start receiving this funding, they're not in a position where they can benefit from it, or their association members benefit from it. So I think it's exciting. We're very hopeful, and the conversation it's a good conversation.
Like anything, when you talk about
happening.
pumping finances, it's happening.
Yes.
And it's an investment.
Yes.
Exactly.
When you talk about pumping finances, it's not charity.
No.
It's an investment because the case study is there. We see it in real time. You invest in an industry like the arts, you will get your returns. Okay? We're sending money every second to our colleagues in South Africa because of the content being produced here. Every second. That's big money, guys.
Yeah.
Through subscriptions on the satellite channels every second, and they're using the same Zambian actors, the same Zambian filmmakers to send money to the South African economy every second.
Yes.
Don't you want some of that action? Like, come on.
Yeah. And I mean, the potential is there. If we look, and I hope I'm going to get these statistics right because I've just been dealing with them last week.
Okay.
If we are getting 0.03% of budget to arts and culture now, giving back between 2.5 and 3%,
Yes.
how much more? And I think that's what needs to be resounding is how much
ratio
more,
is there.
if we get to the 1%, are we going to feed back into this economy?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
1%, I think if we look at it in context of 1% seems like a small little figure, right? But 1% of 20 billion, and I'm not saying that's what the national budget is, but 1% of 20 billion is a lot of money.
Right.
Translated into what can be done.
Yes.
And like you're rightly saying, Chi, it's not just, we're not looking for charity. It's
No,
not
not at
charity
all.
that we're looking for.
Yeah, this is
because that
a business
1%
conversation,
goes to infrastructure. We're building studios. We're building film sets. We're building facilities that will train these individuals.
Yes.
1% is going into just development, technological development.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Absolutely.
it is an investment. It always has to
Yes.
be seen as an investment that will yield returns. The returns are here already.
Right.
How much more
Yeah.
with the increase of funding?
So we're gonna wrap it up, and
No,
you
we don't
guys
wrap
have.
it up.
We are
No,
not
because the
wrapping up.
conversation is
We are
only getting
going.
started. So we're gonna wrap up this chapter of the conversation.
Oh, sure.
But you guys have revealed so much of your own stories, and you've done so much. I feel like I should probably throw in something very personal, which was my investment moment, was actually buying a mini laptop and just saying, you know, scripts are going to come out of this.
Wow.
And,
Yes.
you know, my
Yes.
radio show is going to come out of this. Like, literally, I remember, like, purchasing that. And I'm like, it's over for you guys.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But those are the kind of things we need to do at a macrocosmic level. To say, we released 1% in 2030. Now, there's a whole bunch of Cheese and Stephs and Mumbas who are also like, that is our turning point. That 1%, that mini laptop, that mini investment from the budget can be everybody's turning point in the industry.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yes.
So, yeah, I thank you guys so much. A lot of ground to cover, but I feel like we have covered quite a bit so far. And we've highlighted it very well.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys being here.
Oh, thank
very
you.
much.
Thank
Been
you
a
very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
So, guys, let's get creative.
Thank you.
1%.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much. And who's watching this in 2030? We'll see you on the next episode.
See you.